Is it on? Hello! If you can see what's happening to my hair. So basically, I took a pair of scissors and I went to the bathroom and I just cut my hair in this state. I think I'm regretting this, but don't worry. Yeah, it comes back. This time, we're drawing another D&D character commission art. This time is a celestial pirate of sort, and also sorcerer, I think, is also part of the title. Anyway, let's start. So this one, I actually drew 2 other compositions first, but I wasn't satisfied with it. There's something maybe I'm not too used to narrative painting, and so the last 2 of them I attempted to make it a little more narrative, but it doesn't work, and so I wasn't satisfied and I changed it. So this is actually the 3rd composition, and I decided to do a grayscale render first. If you see my last video, I think the last video where I drew the Triton Sorcerer one, you can see that I rendered fully in grayscale first. So the details is done, everything is in grayscale, and after everything is settled, I applied the colors. And for that painting, I think it turned out quite well, and so I thought, okay, I'm going to use the same technique again here. For reference, the client gave me a very detailed character art that showcased the front view of the character's outlook, but in this one, as you can see, the back is visible, but the character art I was given doesn't show the back of the characters, and so I had to think of something, and I saw, this little flappy extra clothing at the back, it kind of looks cool, and so I added it here, and I think it turned out well, so no regrets. And also, as you can see, the pose design, he's stretching the arm outward, and it's the challenge is the arm is front facing, so if the arm is stretching sideways, it kind of be easier, because you know, we all know the arms are stretched out like 2 lines over here, and then the forearm, we don't usually draw arms that is front facing, that you can't really use 2 parallel lines to draw the arm. It's, 3D and all. You get the idea, but I think I pulled it off. And I also need to create more depth so as to not let everything blend in together. I wanted people to see clearly that the hand is holding a bit of distance from the face, even though it is a 2D picture. I use a Radial Blur, so there are multiple blur options in Clip Studio Paint and Photoshop. Instead of motion and Gaussian blur, I used Radial Blur. So Radial Blur is that you choose a particular spot on the canvas, so this spot will be clear, no blur at all, and along its radius, circling this central point, area around it will become blurred, so that is the radial blur, and I use it for the hand part. I struggled a bit with the background as well. Even though I drew in grayscale. I remember now. It's because I drew in grayscale that I didn't know what to do with the background, other than just plain color, because I need to make the character stand out. When the values too close together, they kind of sort of merge together, and at the end I used the gradient effect so that the top be darker, because I'm not too worried. The character's hat is very dark, it's black, grey, and the bottom of the artwork has to be brighter to let the boots and the clothes stand out. I'm quite happy with how the clothes are rendered. It's an improvement from the past, and I'm more comfortable with drawing clothes and the folds and the crumbling of it. Crumble. relatively. Speech 0. And I was quite worried at first about drawing portraits because I don't usually draw portraits. I drew a lot of full body characters. But luckily, for the past 1 or 2 weeks before this artwork, I remembered that I practice a bit and watch the time lapse of other artists of how they drew faces, how they, use reflective light, how the face, this part is pumped out, this part is sunk in, yada yada. So I was able to fail at those portraits practice before this artwork, and I could worry less when I'm actually working on this one. So yeah, that it is. Hope you enjoy it. If you like this video, like or subscribe or comment or do whatever it is. I don't know. Your call. And I'll see you next time.